Welcome to this short screencast where I'll be stepping you through how to make a table and a caption such as this in a Word document. And this makes it look a little more professional and how you'll be seeing tables presented to you in papers as well as on the AP exam. So if we go back to Excel over here, here is sort of the table that I created. And I want to step you through how to make this, and then all I did to get it onto the Word document was I just would copy this and then I pasted it into the Word document there. So let's go back to the Excel here and show you sort of how this got made. So what you need to initially first start with is all your values here. So let's just copy these values and we'll put them just over here and paste them. So this would be what you would have beforehand now. And we'll get rid of this bottom one over here for a second. So you just have numbers that you've entered here, and presumably then you want to give these each a label here. And so this, just for a placeholder right now, is your, so say, substrate concentration. And this was your, these are your means, this was your n sample size, this is your standard deviation, and then this is plus or minus 2 SEM, standard errors of the mean there. So you look, we got to edit this a little bit to make it look like this, so the concentration of this hydrogen peroxide, and we have subscripts in there and everything. So the way I did that is I just select this, and I want to say this is the concentration, so concentration of H2O2, and then bracket, and then my unit is percentages. Now I want to get these things subscripted. There's a couple different ways you can do it, but I think the easiest way is to double click on that, select the 2, right click, format your cells, and go subscript. This is a little tedious, but it works. Highlight that 2, right click, format cells, subscript, and there you go. That's the way to do that. So the mean here, these are the averages, but what was this? This is really actually the rate of the reaction. Oops, rate of the reaction. And the unit on that rate was kilopascals per second, so I add the rate there. Now you notice that that doesn't fit in this box, so I need to kind of format these so that it all fits in the box like that. So what I would do is I would select all of these up here and right click, format cells, and then go to alignment, and I want to wrap the text in that box. Right? So when I click wrap the text, it does this to that text. And now it makes it all fit in that box, and it automatically resizes the height of that row to get it to fit in there. Notice that anything else that's also in that row over here will also be resized. So just take note that you may have to do some pre-planning about where you put these values on the sheet there. So I've done that, and now I want these things to be in the center of those cells. So if I just do that, I can come up here, select those cells, and I can center the text there, and I can center it in the middle of the box. I can center it, recenter it, bring it down to the bottom like that. So I think I'll keep that. I don't like this, the way that this looks here, so I can change the width of those columns. I can make them a little bit wider to fit that in there, and that I like the look of that. This column, I want this to be a little bit narrower, so I'll just bring that down like this. And so this is looking pretty good here. Now the other thing that I noticed, this n, that looks like this, standard deviation is good, but now this plus minus 2 SEM here, how do I get that plus minus thing in there? Well, if I click on that, double click on that cell, now I'm ready to type in there. That is a symbol, so I can come up here to insert symbol, and I look around here for that plus minus sign. Now I've used it recently, so it's right here, so I will select that, and then just insert right there, and you see that it appears in front of that, and I can just close. So there's 9 now plus minus 2 SCM. I want a little space in there. Okay, and now to get these horizontal lines on here, I will simply select that, come back to the Home tab, and in this drop down I can do the top border, and then I can also do the bottom border, and there it gets that. And I selected these ones here, put the bottom border again, and there is my table. I can now select all of that, copy it, and bring it over to my Word document, and place the cursor where I want to put it, and I can insert, it's actually just paste. And there it is. It's not centered, so if I come up here and select it, I should be able to center that. And it's a little bit larger than I'd like the font size, so I want it to be a little bit smaller. I want it to be, say, 10 size. I can do that. If I don't like the spacing, like this looks a little crowded to me visually, so I can select those and come up here to line spacing and paragraph, and I just pull down and make it to, all right, that looks a little good, so 1.5 spaces, and then there we go. So that is my inserting it there, and then I am below that figure, and this is just my text box, and I can just start typing table 1 and then type as I wish for here. And if it's your margins, I've changed the margins up here with the ruler of where that is, so I can get that to be just the width of, my margins are set to be just the width of my table. And as I'm typing, class period is over. As I'm typing, it's going to wrap around. And let's say I want that to be perfectly squared with that. I want it to be justified. I can come up, select all that, and then justify it, and it'll equally space it to make it look nice and neat like that up there. Okay? So a little quick tutorial there on how to do that. So play around with that, practice that, and if there are questions or confusions, bring them to class. I'm more than happy to help.